Today, as we move on in parallel lines in our packet, we'll be on page 15. Now we'll be solving for variables, whereas before we were just using our big and our little to solve for missing angles. In doing this, we have the ability to solve more difficult problems. So if you're at the top of page 15 in your packet, you'll see that it says day 5 and 6, more with parallel lines, solving for x. And the first thing I'm going to do is label my B, those are my vertical angles, LL. Remember, it doesn't matter what letter you start with as long as you keep the vertical angles the same letters. So when I do that, I'm still going to follow the pattern that we used all last week. Now I'm going to take a look at the chart of equations and the information that I'm given. I like to use my highlighter to highlight the information that they've given me in the problem. I know that both of these pieces of information are B's, which is very helpful because then I know that when I set my equation up, I can set the big equal to the big. One of my bigs is a 101. The other is a 5x plus 1. And I knew I could do that because each of these pieces of information that they gave me in the problem have the same letter. It would be the same if they were both L's. We could set them equal to each other. So now we have an equation, 101 equals 5x plus 1. And we can go to our Desmos calculator and solve that. If you'd like to pause the video, feel free to do that. Let's see, that'll be 100 divided by 5 is 20. Just going to kind of do that. Okay, and I can check my answer, actually. I can substitute this value back into here. I can plug it in and see if I get 101. So 5 times 20 is 100 plus 1 equals 101. And we did a good job. Let's try another one. Down at the bottom of page 15, this one has a y for a variable. So that'll impact the way that you put it into the Desmos calculator. But for now, let's just label our BB, LL, and our BB, LL. Just like we've been doing it. Nothing has changed here. What I'm going to do is grab my highlighter and highlight the ones with the algebra. So 3y plus 53, that's algebra. 7y minus 55, that's algebra. And if I think, okay, how could I set up this equation? Well, remember that the bigs equal the bigs, the littles equal the littles, and the big plus the little equals 180. So we have a decision to make. We have to look and see, what do we have? Do we have the same letter, or do we have different letters? And when we have the same letter, which we do, we have a B and a B, we set those equal. Now, you know when you put this into the Desmos calculator, it'll come out nicer if you put it in with the x variable. So I'm going to write it like that. Pardon. And then I'm going to solve that. You can go to the Desmos calculator if you like. And that'll really mean y is 26. Hopefully I did my mental math there right. Okay, and we can plug that in again if we wanted to and check our answer. We could also plug it in again, and we will be doing that tomorrow to try to get some of the other angles in the picture. Let's try one more, and then we'll come back to class. We're still at the bottom of page 15 in our packet. Now notice that this is labeled. It's just kind of twisted. I mean, it's labeled nicely, but it's rotated in such a way. So I'm still going to start with a BB, like I always do. LL. And then I'm going to come here and put the B in the same position. It's really important that we get that pattern correct. So now, if we grab our highlighter and highlight, not in black, that would be bad. And we'll look at some together in class that have a B and an L. But for now, I just wanted you guys to get a feel for what this looked like in your notes. If I can get my highlighter to work here, we're going to be doing good. Okay. So there's my piece of information. Now that's not exactly algebra, but it is an angle, and we can use it. Now here we've got some algebra that we're going to have to use to solve for that. And notice that we have both the letter B. B here, B here. And I'll show you some in class when we do these together, what it looks like when we have a B and an L. This is just to kind of get you warmed up for where we're going. So we would take this and plug that into the Desmos calculator. I'm going to go ahead and solve it real quick. And so we'll have x equals 110. And that makes sense because 110 plus 15 will give us the 125. So what we're going to do is when we come back to class here in just a moment, we're going to be on page 16, and we're going to be working some more, and I'll be showing you some with the L and the L, and some with the B and the L.